What's up, everybody? This is Josh from Free Indeed, and coming at you with another video here. We're going to talk about the book of Proverbs, but more specifically, we're going to talk about something that I've been doing for a while, and it is a proverb a day. So there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. So whatever day of the week it is in the month, you can't ever run out of Proverbs, is the proverb that you read for that day. So for instance, today is January 5th. So today, this morning, I read the chapter in Proverbs, chapter 5. So that's how that works. But now we're going to talk about why. So there's a few different reasons why to read a proverb a day. And some people might ask, well, once you read 31 Proverbs, why do you read them again? Well, because there is a lot of reasons why, but we're going to talk about several right now. The first one is that meditation leads to cross-references and further Bible study. So what I mean by that is biblical meditation is filling your mind with scripture and focusing on it and listening to what God has to say to you, and then taking what you learn during those times of meditation and applying those principles to your life. And then what also happens when you're doing that, if you're doing this in different parts of the Bible, and if you're going to a church, and if you're doing all these different kinds of things, listening to worship music, if you're just really trying to get deep down and know who God is, what's going to happen is you're going to start coming up with cross-references. And what a cross-reference is a piece of scripture that references another piece of scripture in the Bible. So there are 340,000 cross-references in the Bible. And somebody took the time to figure out what all those are. So I have a Bible here, my Bible that I read for this exercise doesn't actually have cross-references in it. It's just text. So that allows God to plant those cross-references in. So if you see here, yesterday, I didn't write these down yesterday, but yesterday was Proverbs 4. And Proverbs 4, apparently beforehand, I had cross-referenced some verses there in John that correlated with what I was reading in chapter 4. So Proverbs 4:23, by the way, is one of my life verses. It's all about boundaries. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That means if you got bad stuff going on in your life, you got bad relationships, look at your heart, because that's where the things are coming from. So whatever you're not doing to protect yourself, you need to start doing. But that's the way cross-references work, is once you start meditating on and thinking about it, reading the Bible, in other places, they start connecting each other. And when you do that with Proverbs once a day, oh my gosh, it is so much fun. You go down all these different rabbit holes and you start figuring out different things mean something different. I'm not saying that the Bible changes meaning, but what I'm saying is that you start understanding things deeper and deeper and deeper, and start growing a relationship with God more and more every day. So that's the first reason, is meditation leads to cross-references and further Bible study. Second reason is understanding leads to application, because you can't really apply something you don't understand. So the Bible talks a lot about, especially in Proverbs, talks a lot about understanding. And what does that really mean? Well, understanding means that it doesn't just mean that you understand the words, right? So a lot of this comes down to context. What do we mean by context? Well, if we use, so context is the who, what, where, why, when, or really just the where and the when. So context is when it happened, who was there, what was going on, what was the government like, what was the people group like, geographically, what was it like, all that kind of stuff. So if you go to Proverbs 8 here in your Recovery Bible, you will see on page 795 that it's talking about wisdom. Well, if you read this out of context and you're trying to understand this, and you read, let's just say verse 17. I'm just using this as an example. So Proverbs 8:17 says, I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. Well, who is me? Right? A lot of people would say Jesus or God or whatever. Well, they'd be wrong, because what this is actually saying is wisdom. Wisdom in chapter 8 is personified as a woman, specifically a mother. So in order to understand what that proverb means, you have to understand the context. And then once you understand that, you can start applying these things, because now you're understanding what it means. Okay? So I have 5 reasons now that we understand that meditation leads to further Bible study, and understanding leads to application. I'm going to give you just 5 quick whys to read Proverbs every day. So the first one is Proverbs helps me understand what's right and wrong. The second thing is Proverbs helps me learn humility. The third thing is Proverbs helps me understand how to respond instead of react. The fourth thing is Proverbs helps me understand godly wisdom, which is the how, knowledge, which is the what, understanding, which is the why. And the fifth thing is Proverbs renews my mind with God's wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So those last two are kind of connected, but they're also kind of different because you have to understand before you can, it has to be renewed in your mind before you can understand it. So hope that was helpful. We're going to be shooting a lot of these videos and releasing them. And we're going to probably stick in Proverbs for a while. I'm a big fan of scripture that you can apply and scripture that you can learn. And Proverbs is full of practical, applicable principles to apply to your life. So if you want to come to a meeting, we meet every Tuesday night at 5:30 in Pleasant Hill at 1004 Industrial Drive. Feel free to come out to a meeting or reach out if you have questions. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.